what I wanted to talk about in this video is I want to talk about why it's a good thing that Halo Infinite was moved off of last-gen consoles. The video I was just watching was advocating why that decision was kind of like sus and not the best because, specifically what they said in the video is who's actually going up to Craig the Brute and pausing the game to look at his facial animations or the textures, or who's going out and looking at the clouds and the scenic shot. And I agree, gameplay is king. We don't care about graphics until the new consoles come out, right? And then it's like, well, we do care about graphics because I was disappointed in the PS5. I don't own it, so maybe I don't have like full carte blanche to say that, but I was disappointed when I held it in my hands and I played it the first time and I didn't feel the revolution. I felt the evolution of the whole thing. And that was disappointing, but it was unfair of me because I have the most, when it comes to consoles, ever since the PS3, they were talking about the cell processor and how it would make it look like Pixar films or whatever. And that captured my imagination to such an extent that when the PS3 finally came out, I was burned. And I did the same. I didn't do it with the PS4, and thankfully, because the PS4 was just even underpowered on launch. I did do it with the PS5 because they were talking about ray tracing. They were talking about 3D audio. They were talking about this SSD. They delivered on the promises, but it was like my own expectations that kind of sullied everything in. Sullied? What? I don't want that happening with Halo Infinite. Because, mind you, Halo Infinite, there's no Xbox without Halo. There's no Microsoft in the gaming industry without Halo. Imagine the original Xbox launching. There's no, and it's Doom 3 remakes and Morrowind ports. It's not, no. So I completely agree with this decision. As much as you're cutting off millions of players, it's something Cyberpunk should have done. Because I don't want this situation where I go into Infinite and it's bugging out or it's crashing. Xbox right now is in this really nebulous place where it's hard to even identify the console itself. You got one of the biggest mistakes I feel like they ever made was they made a 360 model look like an Xbox One. That's what it was. Why? Dude, it's like they never saw that the Wii U and the Wii fiasco never happened, and they were like, dude, okay. But this is the problem right now, is they have no concrete thing. You remember the 360, you remember the original Xbox as these entities, you remember their launch lineup, you remember their life cycle. It's so muddy now because we had these halfway consoles, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, I believe is what it's called. I love Xbox. I love how much competition they supply. I mean, they are great for this industry. They really are. I mean, Game Pass is about to revolutionize everything, and I respect that. I want to see Xbox win. So when they're not clear with their marketing or they're being indecisive about certain things, I don't respect it. But this decision that they decided to do, to just, hey man, we're just going to make it next gen only because we want to deliver on an experience. It's something that all of us know in our hearts now that we've seen Cyberpunk that it was the right decision. I get it. I would not want to have to buy a new console to play it. I guess it'd be $70 now, a $70 game, right? I would not want to do that. However, I also wouldn't want to pay $60 for a game that's on the level of Cyberpunk when it comes to the bugs and the performance issues. So I'm happy that they're doing this, like ecstatic, and it's the first time now, and this, I'm not going to be the only one, it's the first time now where I'm interested, like maybe I do want an Xbox Series X. Because graphics, yeah, they don't matter. But presentation does. And the feeling of purchasing a next generation product. I mean, Cyberpunk does not feel next gen. It feels current gen. It feels like it's trying to be next gen and it's not quite there. I don't want that for Infinite. I would love for Halo Infinite to come out and kind of be revolutionary. Not for just Halo, just for all games. Because, I mean, it came out and did that. The first game was called Combat Evolved. And then literally every first-person shooter following Halo started playing and feeling like Halo. So, I mean, they set a precedent early on that they are trendsetters. They're wave makers in this industry. And I love the fact that Microsoft is not milking the cow on this one. And they're saying, hey, best product that we can release. I mean, the damn game is on the Xbox Series X box when you buy it. That should be indicative enough that it should just be on the console. I mean, that's what it's designed for. There's a bottom line profit margin, but for this one game versus the bottom line for the entirety of the Halo franchise dipping because of its reputation, I don't think they want that. I think it's, in a case like this, it's better to have a reputable game for your console because listen, the original Combat Evolved legitimized the original Xbox. The whole console basically went its life cycle without another hit like that. It didn't matter. That was enough. Halo was more than enough to keep the console alive and thriving. Xbox 360, Halo 3, and Gears, pretty much nothing else. There was Viva Pinata. There was little games, right? Multi-platform games. Kept the Xbox. Those two games were enough to carry the whole thing. Xbox One X. Halo 5? No. Gears 4? No. You know what I mean? So that it got really lost in there. You only really need one great game to justify the purchase of your console. Series X does not have that game. PS5 barely kind of has that game with Demon's Souls and Miles Morales, but those aren't going to carry it. Shit, man, if this was a brilliant move by Xbox, for an optics perspective. From an optics perspective, this was a great move. I feel like this is it for them, you know? If they fuck up Halo, the Series X has nothing. I mean, nothing. PS5, they could screw up 5 major launches and they have 5 other studios like willing to pick up the slack. I mean, don't even get me started on The Last of Us 2. Oh my god, that was awful. But then a month later, Ghost of Tsushima comes out. So Xbox doesn't have a situation like that. If they blow it, they blow it. I cannot wait for the dislikes and the amount of differing opinions that this is going to incite. And thank you guys so much for watching. I know you didn't make it this far into the video. It doesn't fucking matter. I have 4 subscribers, but no, I'm not resentful. I'm not resentful. Subscribe!